I do think Saeed Nurmagomedov is a generational talent. I really do, man. His striking is so beautiful, so crisp, so technical, so powerful. You got a guy standing across from him in Gafurov who, out of all of the dogs I've watched in MMA, I don't know if I've seen one who is on par with the pace that he puts on and the ability to just go out there and just put on a dog fight. You know what I mean? And I know I'm reusing that word so much is because when you train with Merab Dvalishvili, when you're used to a dude who's just bringing nothing but hammers at you all day long, striking, spinning techniques, grappling, takedowns, wrestling, he's got it all. Is it enough though, AJ, to overcome the technical prowess of a Saeed Nurmagomedov?
Personally, Derek, I think this is an absolute mountain of a task for Gafurov on this one, especially because of not lack of concentration that we saw in his last fight, but almost too much perception in what's going on in the fight. This guy's looking to call timeouts. He's looking to do things instead of being supremely focused on the task at hand. And that's what worries me. If you're going to lose just a sliver of focus against Saeed Nurmagomedov, you're going to eat a question mark kick every single time. And that right there, especially, as new as Gafurov is into the UFC, and I'm not saying new into MMA because this dude's a true killer for sure, has a lot of potential in the UFC, but Saeed Nurmagomedov, is that generational talent you're talking about and has all the background to be able to defend the stuff that Gafurov presents. We'll see if time actually unfolds that way. I'm a little curious in this one, Derek, is the way I want to phrase it, because Gafurov has all the X's and O's to be that kind of guy to take down a Saeed Nurmagomedov, but can he do it on the day of? What do you think Gafurov's best point or best plan of action is to win this fight?
Make it ugly. Make it ugly. Make it unconventional. Do not let Saeed Nurmagomedov. Ooh, let's start that one on over. Let's not let Saeed Nurmagomedov stand at range, be technical, and pick you apart from distance. And here's the thing, man. Muin Gafurov, as you had mentioned, he's not as UFC tested, but he is more MMA tested. He has more MMA fights, right? He's 18-5. I think Saeed is 17-3, right? Coming off being an LFA champion, came into the UFC, and yes, does it give you pause to say, wow, my man lost to John Castaneda? I mean, shout out to Sexy Mexi, you feel me? But like Saeed Nurmagomedov is not John Castaneda, right? So like I get that. But on the other hand, the thing that he has to do to beat Saeed Nurmagomedov is exactly the game plan he used against Castaneda. You push him up against the cage. Don't let him get off the spinning techniques. You try to ragdoll him up and down, up and down. And then once we start getting to that round 2, round 3, what have we seen from Nurmagomedov kind of time and time again? He tends to tire a little bit. The dirtier the fight gets, the longer the fight goes. And if Jonathan Martinez is able to just purely clinch you up against the cage without you being able to escape, broken nose or not, because he did deal with some nose issues right there, Gafurov trains with Merab Dvalishvili, the machine. Like this guy for 15 minutes, well, I'll say for a strong, maybe 11 and a half, 12 minutes, no foot off the gas. We're just pure pedal to the metal right here. That's the reason why I see value in Gafurov, and that's why I think if you look at the previous line history of Saeed Nurmagomedov, when do you see a guy who is as untested to the casual fan as Muin Gafurov only be a plus 190 dog? Like, how often do you see that?
Basically never, Derek. There might be a handful of times we can actually clinch up and say that because Gafurov, man, is that time-tested one. And to all the non-casuals, all the hardcores, there we go, all the hardcore fans out here that actually watch and that actually know, this is the perfect matchup for Gafurov to come in and really make a big splash on Saeed, especially because he's kind of not necessarily faltered in his career, but not necessarily also had that rocket ship stardom that we expected a name of Nurmagomedov to have. And it's because he's a whole different style of fighter, man. If Nurmagomedov is able to defend the takedowns, cut the angles, bounce out, control the range, hit him with some kicks, get Gafurov thinking, and then kick the legs, slow down the pace, slow down the pressure, I think we're in for a hell of a fight. But still, to this point, folks, this is why this is a contested fight, because it's so close right there. This one's going to be a fun one, Derek. What you think?
That's right. I will say there's a couple of points that I want to hit on about this matchup specifically, and I just want your take. So I'm going to quick fire these at you, and you just give me some thoughts. First, left hook. Muin Gafurov uses it from the rear stance. He uses it from the lead stance. He combos it up, but everything that he throws is like the complete opposite of Nurmagomedov. It's wild, it's loopy, it's not straight, and it's unconventional. Now, Saeed, on the other hand, being so sharp and technical, do you think that he's just going to leave too many openings and Nurmagomedov is just going to pick him apart?
Absolutely, Derek. We always say it, the fastest point is that straight line. Said Nurmagomedov has not only straight lines, but I said the question mark kick looks like it's coming straight. Next thing you know, it hits you in the temple.
Both of these fighters, believe it or not, are incredibly well versed in spinning techniques, athletic, just weird, odd things that hit you that shouldn't hit you, right? But if Nurmagomedov's power and his consistency and his volume wanes off rounds 2, rounds 3, what type of impact is that going to play? The reason that I ask you this is because the Gafurov loss to John Castaneda is a little different than what you saw on paper. So for an example, he lost a point in the second round. He got a point deducted for a headbutt, right? First round, he got rocked. And then in the third round, he slowed down cardio-wise, but he did outstrike Castaneda by 20 significant strikes. So my thing here is that if he can get up in that tally on Nurmagomedov, maybe Nurmagomedov landed the more flashy oohs and ahs, but if he could rack up those points, get a couple takedowns, rack up a little control time, even if he gets dropped, do you see it being a really like a split decision type ending, or do you think it's going to be definitive one way or the other?
No, I think this one's going to be a split decision type ending because of not the unsureties, not the X factors, but just the way a Nurmagomedov as well as a Gafurov fight can play out. It can end up being completely unpredictable, especially if Gafurov is able to feel himself, get in that flow state, and really work some things. I see a split decision possibly.
That's why I think that this is going to be a rodeo of a fight, folks. This is why it's opening up the main card, and this is why I think Gafurov is a live dog. But I will be honest with you, I am taking a flyer here in the name of competition. I want a victory here. We cannot just go in with equal picks. Somebody has to get an edge up on the week, and I'm hoping to make that happen. I'm going to pick Muin Gafurov. I am going with that plus 450 decision right there. But what I like more than anything is just plus 190 dog odds. That's my dog on this card, and I'm rolling heavy, baby. AJ, how do you see it?
Oh, I'm going Nurmagomedov, folks, and I'm actually, just like we said before, I think this one might come down to a split decision. I'm taking that plus 200 decision for my boy Said Nurmagomedov.
All right, and that is your UFC 294 main card. If you're ready to make some money, I hope you took some notes.